So everybody, welcome to What's Going On. Andy, what is going on this week?
Okay, so what's going on? You remember last week someone sent in a question that we talked through, and again we do encourage you to send in questions. If you've got something that's burning away in your mind, do send them in, email them into the office. It would be great to hear from you. So email them into Cecilia. So this week what we're going to be talking about is the church questionnaire. You may have heard that a few people have been working on a questionnaire that's gone out into the community. Now, I believe it went live, I think it was Friday last week, on our website, and it went on the Facebook page for the Red Row Estate. So what we're going to do is, rather than Jane and I tell you what's going on, we're going to speak to Adam, and we're going to speak to him on Zoom. So that's what we're going to do now. So Adam, thank you very much for spending some time to speak to us.
Hi Adam.
Must be quite busy for you at the moment with all your studying.
Yeah.
It's good of you to take time out. So you've been involved in the church questionnaire, and I know because I've seen quite a few emails that have been going around as you've gone through your iterative process of putting together the questionnaire. So can I ask you a few questions? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you very much. So can you tell us why it's being done?
Okay, so Graham approached me, and the SLT approached me about a couple of months ago, maybe, and how Graham needs to kind of collect data that we can then use from the community that we're up in the estate, that can be used to then write bids, and hopefully kind of successful bids. So I was approached about a couple of months ago through SLT and Graham. And because Graham has been kind of charged with putting it together a questionnaire that we can then put to the community, the data from which can then be used to then make bids for the new build. So yeah, it's about kind of collecting data from the community so we can use it for that. Not only that though, we of course we want to know the mood of the people, what they think about the new build. We wanted to also kind of gauge how they might use the building as well as kind of figure out who's actually in the estate, whether people are working or not, the age groups up there. So it's kind of all this information that we can use kind of personally as a church and a community centre, but also that Graham can use for his bids. It also kind of tied in quite nicely with me, because part of my schoolwork at the moment is I've got to put together a community profile. So I'm going to be able to use it for that. So it kind of worked out really well.
Really good. Excellent. So who's it being aimed at? Who's your target audience?
So target audience is the guys actually live up there on the estate. So it's about 300 or so households. So yeah, it's all of them.
Excellent. And what sort of questions are you asking?
Yeah, so we kind of start the questionnaire, then we've got 11 questions, and they kind of start by asking things like, the average age groups within each household, how many people are in each household, whether people are working or not. Then it kind of moves on to how they feel about their community, whether they believe the estate up there is like a friendly estate, whether they feel that their kind of needs are, as a community, and individual households are being met. So whether there's like enough to do up there, whether kind of shopping facilities are sufficient, stuff like that. And that kind of branches into Dawlish as well. And then we kind of move on to talking about Hope Centre. So asking people, would they use a certain service if we were to put it on? So, for example, will people come and use the cafe? Will people come and join us on a Sunday morning? Will people maybe hire the main auditorium room out for events, stuff like that?
Excellent. Brilliant. And I know from personal experience, when you do questionnaires, usually it's very difficult to get any amount of meaningful data. And I know this was one of our concerns. So it's been run online, that's right, isn't it? So it's not a physical thing, it's an online thing. So how has the response been? Has anyone engaged?
Well, do you know what? The response has been far, far, far better and stronger than we really could have hoped for. I did a little bit of homework before we kind of started all of this. And from what I learned, if you were going to do anything but door-to-door and actually talk to people face-to-face and get the data you wanted from them, you could expect a very, very low kind of turnout of people kind of filling out these kind of things, and so not a lot of data. Now that was, we originally planned actually to go door to door, and we were supposed to do it. I think it was the day before we were supposed to do it. The government announced the latest lockdown measures, and so of course that put that to an end. So we had to very quickly go online, and that was really our only option. We couldn't even really do kind of posting stuff at that point, because we didn't want to, of course, post it ourselves, and we didn't want them people to go and post it back. So it was only the online option, and I must admit I wasn't overly hopeful at that point that we were going to get a lot, but this is all we could do. Within the first, I think, about 2 hours or so, we had already got 39 people respond. So that's over yeah. So I mean, over 10% of what over 10% of the estate of there. And that was our, what we were, if we hit 30 by doing our door to door, that was the goal. That was going to be seen as an achievement, and we'd already smashed that within a couple of hours. I think it's up to about just under kind of 50 at the moment, and we've still got a week and a bit to go. So we've done really well. We've done really well.
Adam, well done. What a great job. And Graham as well. All those involved. That is so good to see that working, isn't it? It's really helpful as well for the leadership, just to get some raw data, something we can analyse, that we can get a sort of feel the pulse, as it were, of the community. That's brilliant.
I mean, what I really loved about it is that there were quite a few different people involved in this, and they each had little bits to do. So it wasn't like anyone was overly burdened by any of it. And we worked really well together as a team, and it's obviously, produced good results.
Fantastic. Oh, that's lovely.
I think Jane's got one more question for you before we say goodbye.
Adam, before you go, Andy and I are quite pleased that we're actually grandparents during this lockdown and not parents. How's it going with the homeschooling in your household? How are your lovely kids getting on?
Yeah, well, I mean, this time around, actually, this lockdown, the homeschooling has been a lot more intense.
Really?
Compared to the first one. So there's been a lot more to do. They have us kind of doing Zoom meetings every day to kind of catch up on whether we are doing it, really.
Oh, wow.
They have tests every week to ensure it's all going on, and then we have to kind of scan in all the written stuff that they're doing and send it to the teacher. It's pretty vast, actually.
Yeah, very time consuming.
Massively, and it's, I mean, me and Cecilia are in a fairly favoured position because of, I'm not working and stuff, so it's we are able to do it better than probably most parents are, who might both be out working. But it's not easy. It's not easy to keep getting them motivated, and of course we've got Ben running around, getting in the way.
Remind us how old he is now.
Say again, sorry.
Remind us how old Ben is now.
He's just over a year and a half.
Yeah, very active. Okay, so I think we need to remember to pray for all our parents, especially
definitely
parents who are working at home with young children. Well done, Adam.
Thank you very much, Adam. That's really good. Thank you for bringing us up to date.
Yeah, love to see the kids.
See you then. And the true ways of Zoom, we give you a goodbye wave. So I hope you found that useful. I hope we managed to answer some of your questions about the questionnaire. So there'll probably be another What's Going On slot next week. So we'll say goodbye for now, but if you do have any questions, do send them in. Bye.